Welcome to Yoga with Bree. I'm Bree, and today on the channel, by request, I have a video for shoulders, neck, and wrists. So it should feel really nice if you have a job where you work at a computer, or if you commute, or if you text. So that's almost all of us. This is going to be a really good sequence to loosen up some of the areas that we often get really tight. So we'll begin today in a seated position, and we're just going to start with some simple wrist circles. So you're going to move your wrists in circles in one direction, and as you move here, be aware of the energy through your spine. So you're sitting up nice and tall, you're moving your wrists in circles, and you're isolating only the wrists. So if the elbows start to move, we're going to keep the elbows still. Go ahead and reverse your circles. Nice. And then from here, we're going to move on to all fours. Tuck your toes under, and then we're going to sit back on the heels. In this position, you're going to bring your hands down to the ground, spreading your fingers wide apart, fingertips facing your knees. And then as you take this wrist stretch, try to press the base of your palm down towards the ground. If the palm doesn't touch all the way, that's perfectly fine. We're going to send some pressure down in that direction. And as you root down into the hands, press away from your mat. So if you notice that you're sinking down between your shoulder sockets here, really press up out of the shoulders. Stay broad across the chest and the upper back. Good. And then from here, flip back the hand down. We're going to keep the fingers spread wide apart. This one's going to be the one that's a little bit more crunchy probably. So if the back of the hand doesn't come all the way down to the mat, that's okay. We send some weight down in that direction. Fingers stay wide. Good. Breathe deep. And again, notice if the chest has started to sink down. We're going to press up and out of the shoulders. Another thing here, neck stays long. So if we're dropping the head down, that's okay. Look down and out at the top edge of your mat. And then we'll switch again, palm down, fingers spread wide. Not here quite as long this time. Rise up out of your shoulders. And then one more time with the backs of the hands down. If your arches of your feet are getting kind of tender here, you can untuck the toes and sit on the calves. And then one more time on the other side. This time you're going to knead the mat, kind of like a cat needs a blanket before it lies down. So just starting to roll through all areas of the hand, and keep it a slow, almost sensual movement so that you're feeling the different sensations along the palm, the fingers, the knuckles. Excellent. And then from there, we'll untuck the toes, go ahead and sit back on your calves, and then we'll do those wrist circles again. So go ahead and roll through your wrists in one direction. Excellent. And then reverse your circles. Good. Spread your fingers wide apart. We're going to take the fingers down to touch the base of the finger, and then spread the finger pads back out wide. Good. And then do that a couple of times. Bend the fingers, curl them in, and then send them out. Nice. And again, bring the fingers in. Good. Send them out. And then release. Go ahead and shake out the wrist a little bit. So this next part that we're going to do, we're going to move to our tabletop position. And in the classes that I teach, oftentimes, we'll go ahead and move on in. Oftentimes tabletop is the place where students first start to feel pain in the wrist. So if that's you, this is going to help a lot. And the first place we're going to start is just by evenly distributing the weight. So if you notice when you come into your tabletop, if the fingers are together, I instead want you to spread the fingers wide apart, even look down between your index fingers here, and then press away from the ground. You might notice that weight is more in your palm. If that's the case, I want you to spread weight to the knuckles and the fingerprints as well, so you're evenly distributing your weight as you press away from the ground. Another thing to consider here, if the chest is dropping down between the shoulders, I want you to press up out of the shoulder sockets, get broad across the upper back. Excellent. This is oftentimes the place where we take our cat and cow. So you can do a couple of cycles of cat-cow here as we go through this if you'd like. When you are taking your tabletop and your cat-cow in the beginning of classes, you also can rotate between having fists on the ground and forearms on the ground. Coming into these different postures, cycling through all three is going to be a good way to relieve pressure on the wrists, but also still strengthen the wrist by sometimes having the palm down. Remembering when you do have the palm down to press away from the ground, to have weight in the knuckles and the fingerprints. weight in the tops of the feet, and that's going to help take pressure out of the knees. So evenly distributed weight all the way around. Good. And the same thing comes into effect in your downward facing dog. So if you go into down dog and the wrists start to bother you, you can take breaks by being on the forearms in your dolphin pose, lifting hips high, just like you do in down dog. Pressing heels down, pressing away from the mat with even the forearm and the wrist here, palms, knuckles, fingerprints. One of the most important things is just making sure that we don't dump weight into one area, but we always have a lot of awareness of our foundation and also evenly distribute the weight in our foundation. Excellent. So this next piece, we're going to come back to a seated position. You can go ahead and just come to a cross-legged position. You'll sit nice and tall. Find this alignment through your spine by rooting down through the sits bones, lifting up through the crown of your head. And then you're going to shrug your shoulders up by your ears for a tight squeeze. And as you exhale, roll the shoulder blades together and down the back. We're going to do 2 more of those. So inhale, shrug the shoulders up tight by the ears. Exhale, release the shoulder blades together and down. One more time, inhale, shrug. Exhale, release. Good. And then you're going to bring your hands to your shoulders, bring your elbows together in front of you, and then loop the elbows up as high as you can go. Start to bring the elbows back and around. We're going to do that 2 more times. So slow, bring the elbows together, up, back, and around. And one more time. Make this one as big and slow as you can. Bring elbows together, up, back, and around. Continue to sit tall. Now we're going to reverse that. So you're going to bring the shoulders, the elbows rather, up, together, and down. Good. Now inhale, sweep the elbows back. Exhale, bring the elbows together and down. One more time. Inhale, sit tall. Shoulders, elbows go back. And then bring elbows together in front. Nice. And this time we're going to do a big arm circle back. So you're going to sweep your arms up. Breathe in. Exhale, sweep the arms back, down and around. Good. Inhale, rise. And exhale, take the arms back. Last time, sit as tall as you can. Reach the fingertips as high as you can. Inhale, and then exhale, sweep the arms back and around. We're going to do 3 in the opposite direction. So big inhale, sweep the arms up. Forward, exhale. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bring the arms forward. Good. Sit as tall as you can. Inhale, sweep the arms. Make it exaggerated. And then exhale, bring the hands all the way down to rest on the knees. We're going to bring the left ear to hover over the left shoulder. Now, as you take this position, you might find that you start to lean to one side. I want you to stay elevated through your spine. Chest is lifted. And then you're using the weight of the head to bring that ear down to the shoulder. So don't strain to get the ear down, or avoid straining to get the ear down. And then we'll bring chin down towards the chest. Get a nice stretch in the back of the neck, upper back. And then bring it to the other side. Right ear hovers over the right shoulder. Again, check your posture. Sit tall. Have a light engagement of your core. And avoid straining here. Let the ear hover over the shoulder. Weight of the head brings the ear closer. And then we're going to make a full circle. So bring your chin down towards your chest. Left ear to left shoulder. And then nose up towards the sky or the ceiling. Right ear over right shoulder, chin to chest. Now incorporate the breath as you inhale. Lift the nose up towards the sky. And as you exhale, bring it down. Chin to chest. Inhale, rise. And exhale, bring it down. When your chin meets the chest, reverse your circles. We'll do 3 in the opposite direction. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale, chin to chest. Check your posture. Make sure you're still sitting tall here. Inhale, rise. And exhale, release. Nice. Bring the head back up to stack over the shoulders. Good. One last thing for the wrists here. You're going to bring your, we'll say left hand out in front. You're going to have the palm face knee, have your fingertips face the ground. And then opposite hand, you're going to grab kind of where the fingers meet the palm and gently pull back. Good. Now gently press the heel of your hand forward as you pull the shoulder back in its socket. So you're creating some polarity there. You're pushing the palm forward, pulling the shoulder back, continuing to sit tall, and then breathe. Good. And then switch. So you're going to take back of the hand to face me. Gently press where the fingers meet the hand. Press the wrist, back of the wrist forward, shoulder back. Sit tall. Good, and release. Find a gentle circle with that wrist, one direction and the other. And we'll switch sides. Palm faces me. Gently pull back on the hand. Press the palm forward. And another thing to consider here is if the shoulders are shrugging up by the ears, we want to avoid that as much as we can, keeping length in the neck. This lift in the crown of the head as the shoulders pull down. Good, and then switch back of the hand towards me. Gently pull back on the hand as you press the wrist forward. Shoulders down. Good, breathe deep. And then release, circle it out. All right, we'll do one last thing before we end things here. So you're gonna come all the way down to your back. In this one, we're gonna incorporate in a hip stretch too, so it should feel really nice. We're gonna bring the soles of the feet together, coming into Supta Baddha Konasana or supine cobbler pose. You're going to come all the way down onto your back. Let the knees open wide. And then when you get down onto your back, you're going to inhale, reach your arms overhead, get really long through the sides of the body, all the way up through the fingertips. Good. And then interlace the hands. Bring your hands behind the head so you have this little cradle of support. Extend the thumbs down your neck. And then from here, you're going to start to put gentle pressure with the thumb pad into the neck, the base of the neck, and where the head and the neck meet. So just start to gently, one at a time, press thumb into muscle, giving yourself a gentle massage here along the back of the neck, the sides, the jawline. If you have any tension that you're holding in the abdominal muscles as you give yourself this gentle massage along the neck, relax any tension in the hips, relax any tension in the low abdomen, chest. And oftentimes, areas close by closely relate to one another, so when we experience pain in the neck, it's going to extend into probably the shoulders as well, or the jaw. So considering all of those groups of muscles together will help us find a little bit more association and ways to also relieve tension in one area. I say all that just to say that if the neck is tight, then we should pay attention to the shoulders as well. If we experience tension in the jaw, we need to also look at the health of the shoulders, the health of the neck, upper back. Good. From there, go ahead and release the hands. We're going to bring the hands to the outsides of the knees. Use the hands to gently guide the legs back together. Let the knees knock in towards the center, arms down by your sides. And release, relax. Try to spend a couple of breaths here if you have the time. So that is an excellent video that you can do anytime you want a little bit of relief for the shoulders, wrists, and neck. This is a great video to repeat or even do after work so that you can start to relieve tension in those areas, but also build strength in key areas of the body that are going to need a little bit more strength as well as mobility. I hope you enjoyed this video, and again, this was brought to you by request, so if you have any requests for the channel, please let me know in the comments below. Subscribe if you like, and I'll bring you weekly yoga videos to help you feel good. I'll see you next time.